this is Tamara from mooglyblog.com, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to crochet the Blue Moon Shawl, which is a free pattern you'll find on both yarnspirations.com and on mooglyblog.com as the Fall Crochet Along for 2021. To make this pattern, you'll need 2 Caron Big Donut Ogos. I used the Blue Moon colorway, which inspired the name. You'll also need a US K-hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter one. And of course, you'll need your usual crochet supplies, a yarn needle, stitch markers, and scissors. In this video, I will be demonstrating how to crochet section 9, which is the medium blue section you can see right here. So section 9 begins with our 51st row, and I'm using color D, but you can of course use whichever color you'd like. And remember, we are joining to the first stitch of the previous row, not the last stitch of the previous row. We did not turn. So row 51, which is our first row for section 9, is another repeat of row 45. Again, we're going to go ahead and join to that first stitch. Let me get my hook in there now that I took out my stitch marker. There we go. And we can join with a slip stitch and then chain 1 and single crochet 2 in that very first stitch. And then, as you may recall, we're going to work a single crochet in each double crochet and 3 single crochets in each chain 3 space until we get to that center section. So we've got our first 2 single crochets in that first stitch. Then we work 3 single crochets in each chain 3 space, a single crochet in each double crochet. And then when we get to that marked center, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 2, place marker, single crochet. Then just single crochet up the other side and put 2 single crochets in the very last stitch to match the first. And I'll see you at the end of row 51, where we're ready to begin row 52. So now we're finished with row 51. We've got 2 single crochets in that very last stitch, and we're ready to begin row 52. So we're going to turn and chain 6, which means it will count as a double crochet and chain 3. So I want to make sure to put my stitch marker there in that third one. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then I am going to double crochet in the first stitch. After that, we begin the section for row 52 that starts with the asterisk. We are going to double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet in the next stitch. It's that very next one. Double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet back in that same stitch. Then we skip 4 single crochets and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the next, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. Very similar to what we were doing back in row 49, but now we're doing it for row 52. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the next. So I'll see you as we get to the center of row 52. So we've worked our way to the center of row 52. We've got a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, skip 4, and that lands us right in that marked chain space. So in the marked chain space, we're going to work our double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet again, place marker, so that will be our new center stitch there. Move that right on up. There, and then we can chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet in that same stitch, like so. Then we repeat up the other side. Now we start our repeat with the skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the stitch after that. And those will take us right up until 1 stitch remains, so I will see you at the very end of row 52. So here we are at the end of row 52, and we've done our repeat where we skip 4 stitches, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the next until we have just 1 stitch remaining. So in that very last stitch for row 52, we want to work 1 more of those wide V stitches, a double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. And of course, this mimics what we did back at the beginning of the row. So that's what it should look like at the end of row 52. So now we're ready to turn and continue with row 53. And our 53rd row is the last row for section 9. We're going to start with a chain 1 and a single crochet in the first stitch. So I will put my stitch marker in here to mark this. This will be the last row we need to mark stitches on because the final row will be our final edging. There we go. So we've begun row 53 with 1 single crochet. Then we chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip the next double crochet and work 2 single crochets between the previous and the next double crochet. So there isn't a stitch or a chain 1 space there, but there is space to stick our hook. So we're just going to put our hook right in between those 2 double crochets and work 2 single crochets. So there's 1, go right back in there for a second one, like so. Then chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, after all that, we can begin the repeat that takes us till we get to that center section. So starting with the asterisk, we skip 2 double crochets. So that would be this one. Remember, we're still officially in front of that. So we skip 1 and 2, brings us right to between those 2 V-stitches. And right there, we are going to work 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. So you'll remember we had rows before we were working in between those V's with another V. Now instead, we're going to be doing it with 2 single crochets. But before we come over there, we need to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip those 2, and then right in between those 2 V-stitches, just insert your hook, and work 2 single crochets. There we are, and that's our repeat. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 single crochets between those next 2 V-stitches there. So we're going to continue that all the way until we get to that marked center. So we've worked our way down the first half of row 53 with 2 single crochets in between each V-stitch there, and then a chain 4. So that gets us all the way there to that center marked stitch. We want to finish that repeat with our chain 4 there. So we're going to skip that double crochet before the marked one, and in that marked double crochet, we are going to work a single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, place marker. That's our new center here. So get our stitch marker right up around that chain 2, and then another single crochet back in that same stitch. Now after that, we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip the next double crochet, and that takes us to right there between these 2. So then we know what to do again. We go back in there with 2 single crochets. So there's 1 and 2. And then we can continue our repeat on up the second side here. Chain 4, skip 2, single crochet in between those V-stitches. So I'll see you as we get to the end of row 53. So I'm almost at the end of row 53rd, and I thought we could go ahead and finish it up together. I've got 2 single crochets between those V-stitches. Remember, it's a little different down here, kind of like it was at the beginning. So we're going to chain 4, and then we want to make sure to put 2 single crochets right between those 2 double crochets that were right there together, like so. And then we chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can simply finish it off with a single crochet in that very last stitch. So we'll skip that one and hop on over here. Use the stitch marker, hopefully, to help me get that straightened out. There we go. And with that, we are finally finished with section 9 and row 53. Just a bunch of those chain 4 loops with 2 single crochets in between, and then 1 at the beginning and 1 at the very end. So at the end of row 9, or excuse me, section 9, this would be row 53, we are going to go ahead and cut our yarn again and finish it off. And then we'll be starting our final section, section 10, which has just 1 round. It's the final round all the way around the shawl with our final color. However, just like some previous sections, we're not going to turn. We'll come back and start that final round in the first stitch of this row, not the stitch we just made here at the end. So I will see you for section 10 and finishing up the Blue Moon Shawl. And that's how to crochet that section of the Blue Moon Shawl. Stay tuned for the rest of the videos and the rest of this beautiful shawl pattern featuring Caron Big Donut Ogo. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.